Hi everyone, it's Leanne again. How are you all going? I just thought I would try to build up a stash of things to use because I have been making them on the run as we do, I suppose. But I thought I'd build up a little bit of a stash to give me a breather. So I started off with some. Oh, let's have a look at these paper clips. Now these paper clips here are all different sizes. There's big ones, there's little teeny weeny ones, these ones down here, and then you got big ones, and then you got medium ones there. And I've just put an acrylic flower on them, and I think they're very good if you're making cards or journals, just for paper crafts really. So I've been doing them, and I'll show you what I've been using the clips on as well. Is I've made these little cards. Now these little cards are stamped, and then they have a distressing look around the edges, and then I've just put a tiny little paper clip on that one, and it's got a hole, of course, where you can use them in your journals or anything. They're just cardstock. And I stamped whatever stamps I've got. I haven't got many stamps. I'd like to buy some. And that's it. So that's how you can use a little paper clip, and you can stick that in your journal, or what else could you do with it? Use it as a tag to write to someone. I've made another one. This one's made with some paper. It's got a little bit of lace on it. I was just looking at that, see what it looked like. But this one here's got distressing around again. This is paper on cardstock. It's got some cutouts there of some flowers, so it makes it a little bit different. It has a tiny little paper clip on there with a little pink flower. That one. And then I was doing this one. This one says Merci. It's got a paper clip, a large one. It's got a pair of lips on it with some distressing around it. That's a pretty one too. Yep, that one. And I've got some dominoes here. They were from Woolworths, and I wanted to make something out of them. I don't know yet. I'll have to look at a few other ladies and see what they've been up to with them. But I thought that I'd give them a go. Now I've sanded off the Woolworths logo and the little birdie they had on them, so they're all clean now to be painted. So I'll get to that project and I will film it. Now I've got a few other things here that I used with some dimensionals. This one's a sewing machine, and it's got the dimensional on it, the plastic, or whatever they call that, stuff that you put on top. It's a square piece of dimensional. Anyway, I put it on that, so that'd be good for some journaling, or put anywhere really. There's another one, continued with the sewing theme. It's another dimensional, and it's a mannequin or whatever they call them. And then I have another square one that I've used with the words on it. So right, I have this one that's got sewing room on it. It's a round one. You could use that in a journal. This one's got Anchor. Remember Anchor? The old name Anchor Cottons, cotton reel. Then I decided to make these. These are little embroidery cotton reels. That you buy the embroidery cotton, then you wrap it around this, and then you can store it in your little container. I just stamped it, distressed it a little bit. I think they look quite sweet. Got that one, got some lips. Can't get away from those lips. I've got Nyasi again, thank you. And I've got another pair of lips, but the lips are facing the other way. Lips upside down, that way. Yep. Now, what else have I been up to? Right, flowers. I have done a few flowers to build up my stash. This is a pink based one, and it's a lovely little doily around it. I haven't put a base on it yet, but I will. And it's got a lovely paper, light paper, pink, a light pink, sorry, paper flower. It has a little doily here, this little one here, and then it has the white one, of course, and then it's got the lace around the edge. That's quite a sweet one. I made this one. This one's also a flat lace, and I'll put a little felt circle on that one. It's got flat lace around the outside. It's got this sweet little doily, and then it's got another little white doily, and then it's got the blue flower that I made out of some ribbon and a nice little paper white rose. It's quite a sweet one. I like that one. And then I made a tiny little one, of course. I can't do with those beautiful little tiny little ones. It's got a diamante in the middle. It's got lace around the edge, and then a doily as well. Quite a sweet little one. And I tried this one out. It's a ribbon one. It's got a little diamante in the middle. Yep, that one. What else have I been doing? Let's see. Right. I am doing soon a journal, a material journal, or fabric journal as they call them. I've started, but I will film it. I started on this one here. It's just 2 circles, and it's got a middle bit so that when you put stuff in it, that can be filled, that gap there will be filled with all your journal stuff inside. So I've started on that, but I will show you how to do it, or how I've done it anyway. Then we've got the second page, and I'll show you how to do that. That's why I purposely left that one undone. Now I'm using hot glue on that. I'm not using a sewing machine, but when it's done, it'll be just like that. 4 pages, a journal, fabric journal, and I'll have everything in it that I want. But that's for another day. I've started on that. And these here, because I don't have a lot of lace, I've decided to put this, I'm going to sew it up here, and I'm going to gather it. So this will be its lace around the outside, only on the front cover and back cover though. So, you know, you'll get it all scrunched up. Very nice lace around the edge of the journal, so that, you know, I'll glue it on, and that'll be that. That's because I haven't got really too many laces at the moment. I'm also working on some of this fabric sewing stuff that Sonia Steptoes, another YouTuber, and I've been watching her for a long time, and she likes sewing, and I have liked what she's been doing. So I've decided to make myself a fabric book as well. Well, she calls them textiles, doesn't she? Now her textile pages are sewing and things like that. I'm not that good at sewing, but I am going to try and start. Now I have started here, I've got some paper on felt there, and then I've blanket stitched that and the scissors. That's a button with a dimensional on it. Oops, which way? That way. And then I've got a dummy down the bottom, and then it says sewing room. Now that's as clever as I can get, because I'm not a very good sewer. Although I did 4 years at high school in sewing, and I absolutely loved it. I haven't done much since, and that's a long time ago. So I've started on some pages like Sonia, to do with textiles, or I don't know what you'd call them really. I've got an applique here that I thought was nice on that material. Yes, so that will be one of the pages, maybe the front page, I'm not sure. And I've got that one. But I was watching very carefully with her twinchies, and I did do some twinchies. Now, where are they? Let me just see. I've been here. Oh yes, here they are. Now, as I said, I'm not very good at sewing, but I try to make some twinchies as good as I can, because I'm not that clever. And the twinchies are 2x2, so I thought I'd do a little bit. I haven't done any sewing. I've glued all this on. I'm hopeless, but I will put some cotton to those buttons. Now I did one of those little circle things that she does, Suncatcher I think she called them, or something like that, a bit of lace. But I did enjoy her tutorial on that one there, so go along and have a look at it. It's just a little ring and crochet cotton and a needle, and I think it's a clever little idea, and I think you can do it. It's quite easy. There's another twinchy. It's just a bit of burlap there with a nice wooden button, but I will sew it on, Sonia. I will. This is another black lace, and I found this velvet button. This was a button and it's velvet, it's black, and I just sewed some pearls on. I did sew those ones on, Sonia, like you showed us. And then on the bottom I've got another little button that I just found that was curious, a bit silvery, quite nice. Still got strands on it, but that's another one. And then here's another one. It's got a handbag with a button. I did sew that one on, and a little bit of lace and a bit of burlap or twine or something up top. So I did that one, and I did this one. I used a few sequences on this one because I like sequences. Now, it's got 2 buttons that I did sew on, and a little piece of lace and a little ribbon there for that one. Quite colourful. And then I've done this one. I haven't sewn those ones on yet, but I will, Sonia. There's another one of those sun catchers that she taught in her tutorial. I followed that one. Bit of lace, bit of doily on that one. Then I just did this one. This was a little bit of a flower, small doily. I just put a bit of, I don't know, I tried to do cross stitch in the middle. I don't know whether it worked out or not, but it is what it is, isn't it? And then I did one more. This is my very first one. Some buttons there, and I did sew those ones on, and some string left over because Sonia said to keep all your little bits and pieces and put it on, and she was right. It looks fabulous. I like it. So there's the twinchies that I did. following Sonia, and I'm doing that book. I'm doing the fabric journal, and this is just some fabric that I have some little ephemerias, I think they call them, ephemera, and I'll cut them. Actually, I might leave that as one whole page. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I'll see, and I'll put that in the fabric needle book, or I can't remember what you called them. Fabric, yeah, fabric book. Anyway, that's what I'm up to. But I also want to say to you that in my last videos, I was talking about doing some ideal dolls, especially the doll that I had when I was a young girl, and I thought that I would show you her next soon, and you know how to take care of them, how to wash them, how to look after them. I'm no expert, but I have had quite a few of those dolls, and I've collected them, and I've looked after them very well for a long time. So I thought that that would be a good thing to show you. Start off with one of my favourite dolls of all time, Chrissy from 1969, and I told you the story about how I received it in hospital. I was in hospital for a year as a young girl of 9, and I received that Chrissy doll because right splashed across the black and white televisions we had in those days in hospital was Chrissy doll came on the market, and all I wanted was Chrissy. And I'll tell you that story about how I lost it. I never found it until I was 40 years old, and then I bought another one, and in my collection from then on. I have just won one on eBay, another Chrissy, an older Chrissy, or a younger Chrissy I should say. I'm not sure what vintage she is. I have to check her neck out to see what, or her back, to see what age she is. But she'd be probably either 1970 and up, sometime in that period of 69 to 72, around that time. I don't know till I read her head. But anyway, I will bring you that as well. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've been busy after Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty actually sits in the lounge room on a chair. And where I'm living at the moment is our old home. I actually live down the back of my old home in a brand new granny flat that my husband and I built for our retirement. And my son and his wife lived in this house, but we've had to return to the old house from down the back and swap houses virtually because they had split up. So my two sons live in the brand new granny flat, and I live in my really old home. I think it was built around 1947, and but we've done it up. It's bright and breezy, but it's bare, because as you can appreciate, living in a granny flat, you cut all your furniture down to two-seater, because they're only 60 squares, but this house here is, I don't know, 17 squares or something. It's a really old house, and it's got many rooms, and the ceilings are very high. So, but I'm happy to be in this because, you know, as you can see, I did wallpaper it for my son, and it's a nice lemon colour, and it matches this wallpaper really well. But I love being in here because I've got so much more room to spread out. So even though the granny flat was new, I was missing the space for crafting. But anyway, they're all the things I've been up to lately. I haven't been slack. I will do that fabric journal probably next. I'll keep up this work here, and I'll do that book as well, and I'll show you periodically what I've been getting up to and where I've got to. But I will start Chrissy, and I will look forward to seeing you then. So, farewell.